Next up, we're going to make one of my first tech products that blew up on this website here, the MacBook sleeve. Now this one's Olmo Minerva. It's a full-grain Italian leather imported from Tuscany. It starts off in this kind of orangish color and will eventually become kind of a light to medium brown, which you can see in my watch band if you watch my watch band throughout the video. Now this one's going to be paired with a pretty unique stitching color, Salmon. Salmon and Olmo don't often get picked together, but when they do, I really love it because I think it's a beautiful complementary color to add on top of the Olmo, and it's going to pop even more once it starts to get a little bit more brown. The leather, not the stitching. This one in particular is made for an M2 MacBook Air, the 14-inch model that came out relatively recently. I'm going to show you how it gets made. Let's get started. Now, instead of walking you through the entire process of how I make this MacBook sleeve, you guys can watch that. I want to ask you some questions. The first question I'm extremely curious about is what kind of content you've seen from me you like the most. Now, I have certain videos where I do a lot of quick cuts where I just show you a brief, maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 seconds of each section of the process, and it ends up being a much shorter video, maybe around 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. And then I have other kinds of content where I show longer forms, of all of the process. So I'll show you every single piece of me beveling like you see here, instead of just quickly cutting through a bunch of, beveling clips. Those videos can be 5 to 7 minutes, or they, depending on the product, could be as long as 30 minutes. This product in particular, if I did a lot of long form clips, I'd probably get it around 5 minutes. But, a tote bag I've done in the past showing every single step, that's a half-hour video. Now, those are two wide different sections of the spectrum. So I'm just curious if you're, more interested in seeing just, really brief sections of each piece of the process, or do you like to see, a longer video, a longer form? You want to see all of each section of the process, or more of each section of the process. So I'm very curious about that because, sometimes I flip-flop back and forth between what I enjoy making. The quicker cuts are obviously easier, but I feel like that tends to leave a lot out. If you're interested in leathercraft, you probably want to see all of the steps. You probably want to see how to sharpen the French skyver before you start shaving down the back of the leather. You probably want to see a little bit more of the hand stitching section to kind of hone your own craft and hone your own skills. That's how I learned. I learned by watching other, crafters on YouTube and other platforms, looking for their longer form videos. But at the same time, sometimes you're only in the mood for a quick little snippet. So let me know in the comments what you think of the different formats these can be shown in. I feel like the leather crafters out there who want to learn might want the longer form, but the people who just want something satisfying to watch, because leathercraft is pretty satisfying, you probably just want the quick clips. So I'm curious what you guys think. In the meantime, I also want to know what you think of this color combination. Because Salmon is probably one of the least selected stitching colors I offer on the website, and I think it looks really good with Olmo, and I'm curious what you guys think as well. I battle between adding stitching colors and removing stitching colors just because, sometimes you can have, selection overload. There's a word for it, I can't think of it at the moment, like analysis paralysis. There's too many options, so sometimes I think about taking them away, sometimes I want to add. Let me know what you think of this particular stitching color in the comments, and of course a like and a subscribe goes a long way to help build a small channel.